spell my name, I began to grave it in the oak, first of the block whereon I sat, and then of the desk in front of it, according as I was promoted from one to other of them. And there my grandson reads it now, at this present time of writing, and hath fought a boy for scoffing at it. John Ridd his name, and done again in winkies, a mischievous but cheerful device in which we took great pleasure. This is the manner of a winky, which I here set down, lest child of mine, or grandchild, dare to make one on my premises. If he does, I shall know the mark at once, and score it well upon him. The scholar obtains, by prayer or price, a handful of saltpetre, and then, with the knife wherewith he would rather be trying to mend his pens, what does he do but scoop a hole where the desk is some 3 inches thick. This hole should be left with the middle exalted, and the circumfer dug more deeply. Then let him fill it with saltpetre, all save a little space in the midst, where the boss of the wood is. Upon that boss, and it will be better if a splinter of timber rise upward, he sticks the end of his candle of tallow, or rat's tail, as we called it, kindled and burning smoothly. Anon, as he reads by the light his lesson, lifting his eyes now and then it may be, the fire of candle lays hold of the petre with a spluttering noise and a leaping. Then should the pupil seize his pen and, regardless of the nib, stir bravely, and he will see a glow as of burning mountains, and a rich smoke, and sparks going merrily. Nor will it cease, if he stir wisely, and there be a good store of petre, until the wood is devoured through, like the sinking of a well shaft. Now well may it do with the head of a boy intent upon his primer, who betides to sit thereunder, but, above all things, have good care to exercise this art before the master strides up to his desk in the early grey of the morning. Other customs, no less worthy, abide in the school of Blundell, such as the singeing of nightcaps. But though they have a pleasant savour, and refreshing to think of, I may not stop to note them, unless it be that goodly one at the incoming of a flood. The schoolhouse stands beside a stream, not very large, called Lowman, which flows into the broad river of Exe, about a mile below. This Lowman stream, although it be not fond of brawl and violence, in the manner of our Lynn, yet is wont to flood into a mighty head of waters when the storms of rain provoke it, and most of all when its little co-mate, called the Taunton Brook, where I have plucked the very best cresses that ever man put salt on, comes foaming down like a great roan horse, and rears at the leap of the hedgerows. Then are the grey stone walls of Blundell on every side encompassed. The vale is spread over with looping waters, and it is a hard thing for the day boys to get home to their suppers. And in that time, old Cop, the porter, so called because he hath copper boots to keep the wet from his stomach, and a nose of copper also, in right of other waters, his place is to stand at the gate attending to the flood-boards, grooved into one another, and so to watch the torrents rise, and not be washed away, if it please God he may help it. But long ere the flood hath attained this height, and while it is only waxing, certain boys of deputy will watch at the stoop of the drain-holes, and be apt to look outside the walls when Cop is taking a cordial. And in the very front of the gate, just without the archway, where the ground is paved most handsomely, you may see in copy letters done a great P.B. of white pebbles. Now, it is the custom and the law that when the invading waters, either fluxing along the wall from below the road bridge, or pouring sharply across the meadows from a cut called Owen's Ditch, and I myself have seen it come both ways, upon the very instant when the waxing element lips, though it be but a single pebble of the founder's letters, it is in the licence of any boy, soever small and undoctored.